Hi everyone, my name is Julian. I just want to thank you all for coming out here again. And spending with me. So, how many seniors do you have? How many seniors submitted to a school before COVID happened? So, are you still going to go to the same school that you wanted to go to, or are you going to have to go to a different school?
Probably have to go to a different one.
So, when the season ended because of COVID, how did that affect you guys?
It was kind of hurtful because the team we played, like their whole team had COVID, and then they got their test back on Monday. So then they had to test before they played us because we played them that Saturday. Like I feel like every week all the basketball teams should be getting tested because our season was took from us, and it wasn't fair because it was right at the end of the season. Districts was starting. We wasn't like we had a lot of seniors that was like waiting for the moment, and then like the way we only had half of the season. That half of the season was kind of like what the beginning was supposed to be because the beginning is what you do when you learn your teammates, especially when it's a new team and stuff. So it's like it was just unfair because we was probably starting to learn things, starting to get and like knowing our teammates, and it just was tough. Like it was okay.
So how did you guys feel about the Let Them Play movement where people were going to the state capitol in Lansing and protesting that you guys should be playing?
I thought it was a good movement because a lot of us seniors used our last year of being able to play as a high school player, so we didn't want that taken from us. So I thought it was a good movement.
So for the coaches, what was the season like for you guys, especially the ones that had to quarantine their teams?
Well, it was an up and down season. You know, not knowing whether we were going to be able to play, not knowing, you know, when can we get back in the gym. They shut the gym down the whole summer, you know, and things we usually do, we couldn't do. Couldn't get in the weight room or things like that. So to get that advantage. And once we got to playing, we thought we was being safe, but at the same time, I thought they put us in a bad predicament. You know, we went to Davidson, and I think that's where we caught the COVID from. And then we had to quarantine for 2 weeks. You know, and I think we was about to jail then, and then we had to just shut everything down. And then we had to come back for a couple practices and play, which made it kind of tough. You know, and I think Tina kind of took advantage of that, of us not being in Saginaw high shape. You know, and, it was tough this season. You know, for the kids, for the coaches.
So your whole team caught COVID?
I'm not the whole team, but it was at least maybe half the team, you know, and all 3 teams was on one bus. You know, kind of affected us.
I think from my standpoint, I coach 2 different sports. So volleyball leading up to the season was like what he's saying for basketball because we couldn't get in the gym. We're practicing volleyball on the track. So like we can't get on the net. We can't do things that we usually do. We went out to the park, Hayco, and tried to use the little nets out there with the sand, but it's not the same as, you know, trying to simulate in gym or volleyball. So from a coaching standpoint, it was frustrating because, again, she's my setter, and that's my other setter, but it was things we wanted to work on so that we could grow and to compete better. And we had that time snatched from us, and then pretty much we were in limbo until 2 or 3 days before the season started, and they expected us to play games, and I just flat out told them, like, we're not playing games, and we just got in the gym, and we're supposed to play one of the best teams in the Saginaw Valley League, like, this week. It's not happening. So I was like, either you're going to reschedule it, or we just going to forfeit, because it's not fair to my players that we haven't even gotten into the gym, and you expect us just to walk out there and get pummeled almost by these, because I'm bringing up 4 or 5 girls from JV, because I had seniors that graduated last year as well. But, and then basketball was just like, okay, we're going to play basketball. We're not going to play basketball. We started practice, and it was like 2 weeks off, and then Christmas happened, and then it's like, okay, well, we're going to play basketball. Then you want these kids to be running up and down the court with masks on. That was my issue. You talking about let them play. basketball is hard enough without a mask on, and then we got girls with asthma, respiratory issues, and like, forget COVID right now, like, just the fact that you're expecting these kids and the referees can't even run up and down the court. So then the game wasn't what it could have been had we not had all of these issues going on. And it was a tough season even before we got quarantined, just to tell the truth. But it was hard watching the seniors get that snatched away from them too, because like they said, the varsity girls were just about to, like, they were figuring it out, and they were playing their best ball of the season, and then tossed them out.
Yeah, I agree, because I had a couple kids that should have been recruited, you know, like they should have been recruited, but by them taking away the AAU and things like that, so they couldn't get the exposure that they needed to get recruited by them, you know, Division I, Division II coaches or whatever. So I think that really affected them, their recruiting part, you know. And a lot of people knew that, you know, they was about to blow up, or, you know, things like that, but yeah, it was rough.
Anybody else?
So how did you see the localized you personally? How did you feel dealing with all that?
Me, I had to take it. I just like, I had to take it different, like, so I went out of town and stuff. And then I ended up coming back after that and played here, so, so you want to get it through, so.
So what did you recruit?
So for the parents, what were you guys thinking when the whole season shut down?
No filter, right?
You got
For me, it was yin and yang. Because by me working so much, well, let me start off. It's heartbreaking to hear basketball gonna start up at a certain date, and then something happened and then basketball took it away. And so to see my two kids right here excited about playing basketball, and then in the blink of an eye, and it's gone. As a parent that works a lot, it's kind of like cool, because I want to go to the game, I want to take them to practice, I want to go to work, come home and chill. But you can't be selfish, because my time has passed and now it's all about them. It was sad. Fortunately, I have a sophomore and an 8th grader, so they weren't affected for the recruiting rights. So they still have a chance right now, depending on what goes on in the next 2 to 4 years. Unfortunately, these guys, which are seniors, I mean, had a hard night life right now. So, I mean, it's bad. Hopefully that things can shape up and turn around. As far as the game plays, they were doing what, maybe two pans a game. I'm a family of 4. So either my wife gotta go and he can't go, or he can't go, wife can't go. Can't see him play. So it's kind of like, what do? You know what I'm saying? So it's hard, but hopefully the pandemic is settling down. But definitely it was a struggle, and my hats off to you guys for like, y'all did y'all thing in short notice. Y'all crammed with maybe 20-some games, 25-some games in 3 weeks, playing sometimes 4 times a week. I know y'all was tired. I would have been tired. But y'all did. I mean, so like I say, hats off to y'all, to the coaches, parents that sacrificed going from Saginaw High to Medlin to Grand Blanc to Mount Pleasant to Detroit, whatever. Like, everybody played a part in it, and I think as a community, especially as a black community with black schools, Saginaw High, Arthur Hill, Bridgewood, all that, I mean, you did a hell of a job. So, great job for diversity.
So how long do you guys think it'll take for everything to get back to normal when it comes to sports?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Hopefully next year. If not that, I don't know.
So did you guys have any problem with the way the season was handled, and what would you change?
The mask.
They can't wear
Yeah,
masks.
wearing a mask.
Yeah, like that now.
I would change the test because like
What else?
only wrestling got tested because there was contact sports and we had contact sports too. So I feel like we should have been able to be tested too.
I think the number of people who was able to come. Like I know from my school, like the whole SPSC district, it said that it was 2 people per person, but like mine was only saying like only adults can come. But like I was looking at other schools and like they had student section and stuff like that, and nobody was social distancing like in so. Because I know when I made my 1,000 points, like everybody was coming and stuff like that, and they was turning some people around.
I feel like basically the players play as is, no mask, nothing. Spectators, you wear a mask because running up and down the court, breathing, especially in an enclosed environment, it's tough. It's tough. Running, jumping, playing defense and all that, especially with something over your face and you want to do like this and the ref telling you, pull it back up. You get a tech. So I mean, it's tough. I believe they should have just said, all players take a test before the season or whatever and play as is. That's what I would have changed if I was in charge or whatever.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought that the 5 on the court, the 10 on the court shouldn't have to wear masks. The guys on the bench should have to wear masks. If they come to the bench, put on their masks. The spectators have to wear masks, things like that. And then I thought it got kind of ridiculous. Some refs didn't want to touch the ball. A certain group of refs did touch the ball. So it was weird. It was real weird this season. And when we caught it though, and when I caught it, it hit every bit of 2 weeks for me to recover. Plus, because even when I came back from having it, I didn't have my energy. I couldn't stand up the whole time during the game. I had to sit down, or I couldn't really get after the guys like I used to, to motivate them and things like that. So I think that played an effect in our season too.
I feel like we didn't have to say it in nothing. Like the players didn't have to say in nothing that happened. Like he wasn't able to say if we wanted to wear masks or not. He wasn't able to say nothing about the spectators. Every time we tried to voice anything, it was shut down by the AD. Like we didn't have to say it.
Some of that was a district decision, but again, like it's a lot I didn't agree with. If we weren't going to start on time, like I don't think they should have had the season because you're trying to have the kids. Most of the kids were not training. We couldn't get in the gyms. It's cold. It's Michigan. They can't go outside and play, and they can't go outside and run in the middle of the winter. So if they're not going to like Coop or one of the other gyms that was open, then they're not getting any type of training, and then we get 2 weeks to get them ready for basketball, knowing that they've been sitting around, during the holidays eating, getting good and fat and full and using the EBT cards and stuff they gave people. And now, hey, shed all them pounds and let's put a good product on the floor. It's not fair to the students. I thought that was more of a risk in terms of, now I'm not just worried about COVID. I'm worried about you're not in shape, you got a mask on, you can't breathe. I got, girls with asthma, I got inhalers in my bag. The refs not doing what they supposed to do. They don't want to touch the ball. They're scared of COVID. If you're afraid of what's going on in the pandemic, like we should just shut it down. And I understand that's not fair to the players. I think maybe they should allow seniors the opportunity to reclass if they want to go back so that they can have a full season and then go out there and make a good faith effort to get recruited because their season was stolen from them. So if they have that opportunity, if they really felt like, they was going to get recruited, I think they should be able to reclass.
I might do it.
You say you might do it?
Yeah, I might do it.
Anybody else see it? What you think about that?
I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm in class. I don't know about that.
So,
After the class,
you
the
ready?
opportunity for me.
Yeah.
Get those good.
So as far as wearing the mask on the court, how did that really affect you as far as playing with or without it?
Couldn't breathe. It affected me a lot.
So yeah, like did you come out the game sooner or what?
I mean, I never really got the game.
I don't think, well, when we first started, like, conditioning and stuff, I was dying. Like, because COVID days, I was dying. After that, I got confident. I kind of cheated a little bit because I did, and the rest wasn't listening. So in one of my games, they, like, took a player out, but, and then some of the games, they just played, like, runs and stuff. And I'm just like, is this like a rule, or is it just doing it just because they're not listening? So I was just like, I was straight. Sometimes I'm the one who has the time. That's how some people have to do that.
We got,
I wouldn't be glad.
You wouldn't?
we got COVID even with the mask on, so.
Yeah. I think the test should have been mandatory though. Like, I think the test should have been mandatory at least once a week because we play like 4 or 3 games out the week. So that Monday we should have been tested through the whole week and stuff.
That's a big check. The temperature.
Yeah, the temperature, because I knew that.
That's one of the things.
Because I was asymptomatic. I had it, I was asymptomatic. And like, my fever, I didn't really have a fever. My teammates were sick, but I wasn't. I was dying.
So as far as football, I know you play football, Chris. How did that work with you? You have to wear a mask in the helmet?
No, okay. So with that, we have to wear like a plastic thing over the front thing of the helmet or whatever. But even with that, because we got shut down for 2 weeks too, because we played Middle Down, somebody got it COVID-19, and they had a whole 2-point game. I think they continued to play. Like only that person that had COVID quarantine, but we forfeited Davidson and somebody else. And I was looking forward to Davidson because they won the state title medal last year, and that would have been a good chance for me to do some recognition and on that trip.
So with some kids coming back to school and some aren't, how did that affect the team? Because my SASA kids at 8th grade, they only have 6 players on their team.
A lot of players were told if they weren't coming back, they couldn't play. So a lot of parents were afraid of COVID. So that affected the players in the school.
I think it's different. It's different for high school too, because the reason why they told y'all that you had to come back to school if you were getting recruited, the NCAA does not recognize Plato credits. Yeah. So you cannot take classes, and everything that SD is doing in terms of the online school is Plato. So if you're trying to get recruited, you can't get recruited and have Plato credits on your record. So that's why we just flat out told our girls, like, hey, if you're trying to play college ball, you can't do the virtual academy.
Also, it affected us as far as we couldn't get the word out to get school kids in tryouts or open gym or nothing, with them shutting us down, opening us back up, shutting us down. Where last year, you could see the kids in the school, spread the word, and the kids would come to the open gyms and workouts or whatever. It's like 9th grade, whoever showed up, I had to keep, regardless. So, and it showed when they played. After 9th grade, went into basketball, but then just came out just because, we usually get some kids that usually can play. So.
And that's unfortunate. I mean, like I was telling my son, after I seen some of the things, I'm like, I can tell basically whoever trying to make a team. And that's really what it was. When you see kids like, why the hell is he even out there? But it could be for grades. I mean, grades play a major factor on that. I mean, because virtual is basically kind of like, for college kids, it's basically went online. You ain't really got to do it. Like, nobody really monitors you, especially if your parents go to work. So it's basically I don't wanna get up at 7:45, 8 o'clock, and go the first hour. I ain't gotta go second hour, third hour, fourth hour, fifth hour, and so forth and so on. And then when it comes down to basketball season, football season, track, and you want to come out, and coach tell you, hey, you can't play. It discourages kids. And so I've seen this even from last year, not even during the pandemic, is that kids don't get a lot of support from parents, especially with now what's going on. They really ain't getting support. So school and sports go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. That's why I teach my kids you have to be a student first before you can be an athlete. So I mean, there's no sports without being a student.
And that's a really good point, because I teach at Saginaw. So we spent a lot of time that we would have spent talking to parents about, ways that they can help their kids, just trying to make sure their kids are logged in and coming to school. And a lot of them didn't. So in terms of trying to get athletes, I had to turn down several girls that thought they was gonna play that had 5, 6 E's. I'm just like, what have you been doing all year? So like the academic piece, but we're expecting teenagers to be self-motivated and to log in when there is no supervision, and that it don't work like that for that age group. You have some exceptional cases that want to do it, but by and large, the kids weren't coming to the building, so I know they're not logging in if they're at home.
Any last thoughts?
Did anybody have their season canceled completely?
Wait,
Never had a game at all?
No, they
How does that affect you as far as next year and go with the rest of it?
I ain't want to face
Why not?
it. It is what it is.
But you could have got your last one.
Well, I just speak on my son behalf. But I'm going to Thompson. I think last year they was maybe like 10 games last year. And they got cut down to 5. So kids not really getting the chance to really get their talent exposed. And a lot of kids don't want to play. For the math, like I say, for the grade. And the grades come down from middle school too, not just high school. So if you don't have it, you can't play. No matter how good you are. And what's the one rule? No child left behind. That should never came with it. Because I mean, you go to school and you go from 8th grade to 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and now it's time to become a senior, and now you can't graduate. So I mean, it's a lot of things go into play, and kids get discouraged when they can't play basketball because that's their only outlet. Basketball is my outlet, and then when I can't play basketball, I get discouraged, and then we all know what happens from there.
So with everything happening the way it happened this season for everybody, if nothing changes heading into next year, what would you do differently, or would you participate, not participate, or coach different, or parent do something different parenting-wise? What would you do?
Trying to work on the mask to try and get better with the mask. If not, just gonna do it at all.
He said he would work out with a mask on.
honestly, I was just trying to get everything on. Because, like, this year was my first year playing varsity, and I started both sports, and I never came off the game. Mostly, well, not never, but like both sports, I barely came off the game. And I took on a leadership position, and this was only my first year. And I sat out last year because of an injury. So it was like, I would honestly just give my all. I was holding back a lot. I was like, it was more of a confidence thing. And I feel like a lot of stuff just, I don't know, I was just giving everything because you never know when it's over. And that was like our season being ended, it was kind of like a reality check because I didn't know I cared that much until it took away.
For me, I would do things different. I'm watching other districts, last year working out in a gym, and our gym just completely shut down. So that wasn't fair to our kids, you know, they had to find a gym or something like that, a weight room. And you could tell the teams that was doing that, they was well more advanced than us right now, which usually don't happen. You know, and they was posting it, like they was bragging about it, like we in the gym working out, and we can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? We can't do nothing. If I open that gym, I'd probably lose my job. You know, things of that nature. So, yeah, I would do things different. You know, especially coming up, especially coming up now. I think I had to put a plan together for my kids, a program together, and figure things out. So where kids can be dedicated and, you know, show that they want to do it. And it's gonna be tough. You know, the pandemic's still here. We pray that it go away. You know, but if it don't, you know, we just gotta adapt.
The parenting part, I guess, that's probably kind of easy. It's basically just motivating and encouraging your kids to keep pressing forward. I mean, because we know time change like the weather. It's warm today, then be cold tomorrow. So it's just motivating them and keeping them encouraged because as y'all being kids, y'all get discouraged very quickly. So it's my job as your dad or as an adult just to tell you to keep pressing forward because there is light at the end of the tunnel. So if it's something that you want, whether it's going to school, playing ball, football, tennis, lacrosse, whatever, and if that's your passion, it's my job as a parent, as a person that plays sports, loves sports, to just encourage you to keep on doing what you do. Instead of just turning my back on you and saying, well, man, that's what should happen to y'all season. That's crazy. Because that's just discouraging you even more. So that's what I would do differently besides taking my kids more to the gym and working on conditioning, especially when gyms are closed. You can get stronger, bigger, faster. Not doing that with mine, but I'll do even more. So that's what I would say.
So, somebody touched on, I think it was Bell, as a senior going into college. I know you going to school too. Did it affect you scholarship-wise, or getting accepted somewhere, or getting admitted from another school?
I mean, I got accepted into school for academics, but other than that, I got like a JUCO offer. I don't got no like top schools and stuff.
But I mean, if you didn't have to play with a mask or had COVID on your head, you think it would have been different? You got some more offers?
Oh yeah, I think it would be.
I think I would have more options too. So, like I was saying earlier, before when I was talking to you, I was saying I had like a couple of business like set up, and then right before COVID happened, all that got shut down. So it would be like my options got cut, so I could pick from top schools and whether things like 7 or 10.
And I think with the Bell situation, he was set up to play with a certain AU team that got a lot of looks, that get on the right circuit. And once they cut it last year, cut our season right before the district championship, that hurt him too. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when he was, you know, really coming into his own and ready to blow up. So that really affected his recruitment. You know, his recruitment. Because I remember a couple of scholarship services hit me up about him, and a couple of schools called about him, but they couldn't come out to see him in the open gym because we couldn't open the gym up, or, you know, things of that nature. So it really affected his recruitment, and it really affected a lot of people recruiting the incoming freshmen. Last year can still be a freshman coming up the next year. So Or they might take a transfer student from another school, so that, yeah, it's gonna hurt a lot of incoming freshmen this year, coming this year.
Thank you all for coming again. You all have some great input. Happy Easter, everybody.
All right, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.